YouTube, it's me Clermo, and I am back with another tutorial. But I think this is something that's really needed because a lot of women like myself suffer with thinning brows, okay, where your brows just don't grow how they used to because you've either over plucked them or got them done way too many times, and now you're suffering from thinning brows. Now, there are a few products out there that they say will grow your brows back. If you know any, please leave them down in the description bar. But I know when I used to work at Sephora, I tried a few, including the Urban Decay one, and it didn't do nothing for me. But it's supposed to be for your lashes, but they said you can also put it on your brows, but it didn't do anything for me. So if you've tried any products that has helped you grow your brows back, please leave a comment down below. I'm gonna zoom in so I can show you guys how thin my brows are, okay? So as you can see, they're pretty thin. I have been growing them back. I used to plug the back end of my brows. I no longer do that because I just want to have brows, okay? I don't want to have, before I used to have just this little piece right here and then all of this was gone. But I've been growing them back and I only plug on the bottom. So, and a little bit on top as well. But I don't plug on the actual brow bone anymore. And this one just doesn't want to grow right here at all. But I will show you a natural way that I fill in my brows that also stays on for a long time. So for me personally, I started actually getting my brows done when I was like 11, 12 years old. My sister was the first one who did my brows. Hey Sandy. And then one day she was like, I'm not doing your brows no more. But so I then took a razor and I shaved my brows off. Well, I tried to shave them into a shape, but I ended up just shaving them off. So then I started to fill in my brows, and I used to fill in my brows with a black eyeliner, guys, and then I would put like a white eyeliner underneath the brow. It was horrible. Well, actually, I take it back. It wasn't horrible. My eyebrows, it wasn't horrible, okay? A lot of people were doing it. My sister was like, stop using black eyeliner for your brows, but I didn't listen. It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't the greatest look ever. I really should have did the how I did my makeup in high school thing that was going around. I really should have did that because it was crazy, okay? But anyways, let's get right into this look, guys. I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I am doing and the products that I use to fill in my thinning brows, and that also allow my brows to last all day long. Let's get started. So first thing is that you want to brush your brows out. So brush your brows going in the direction that your hair grows. Wow, my brows have grown so much, it's insane. Then I'm gonna take the Anastasia brow pomade, and this is in shade chocolate. With an angled brush, a very thin angled brush, I'm going to go and take some product, a generous amount of product onto my brush. Not too much, you don't want to waste it, but the reason why I take a generous amount because I want my slanted brush to be completely saturated with product. And this is going to help make the brush a lot thinner as well. Not too much, okay guys? By saturation, I mean put product on both sides of the brush. And that's going to help the brush become very thin and sharp. So it's going to help the brush look very thin and sharp, okay? Then I'm going to kind of create a line underneath my brows. And I'm gonna follow the way my brow bone. I'm going to follow the natural structure of my brow bone. And this little line already looks good. And then I'm gonna go in and just start filling it in. I still use a pencil, but I realized that I like to use the brow pomade as well because I have so much bare skin, the brow pomade actually stays on a lot longer. And I also applied some Becca primer on my brows. Like, well, when I applied my primer for my face today, I applied the Becca primer as well. And you want to do very light feathery strokes, guys. Very light feathery strokes, and you want to stay in the direction that your brows grows. Like so. And that alone looks good. I don't have any concealer or anything on. So whatever you do on one side, you're gonna do on the other side. See, this is my favorite brow, right? It's easy, it don't give me no problems, you know what I'm saying? It sticks to what it needs to do. But this brow right here, I like to call her Trouble, because Trouble is always giving me problems, okay? It's just shaped all weirdly, which is why I used to always just remove this back piece here. And it's also higher arch than this brow. Like my bone structure here, it's just a little bit higher than this brow, okay? So let's start filling it in by doing the same exact thing, going underneath the brow and just filling it in very, very lightly. Like so. It looks so different than the other one, but don't be afraid, guys, because brows are not going to look exactly the same, because naturally they're just not even the same, period, okay? What you want to focus on is following your natural brow bone structure, okay? And this is going to frame your shape the best. Frame your face the best, okay? So, like so. And then just very lightly start feathering it in, just like you did the other brow. You see how that arch is just higher, guys? And if I try to go lower, it makes my eye look a little droopy. So, you know, it is what it is, okay? And just keep filling that in. Take your time. Whenever I'm teaching my classes, I always tell my students to fill in your brows like you're not going to use any concealer. So don't rely on your concealer to make your brows look great, okay? Fill it in so well as if you won't even need concealer. So when you do go ahead and use your concealer, it looks more natural. And you don't have to use too much product either. So once that's done, guys, you see the difference already, how flawless this one is, and this one is like, but it's cool. You're gonna take your spoolie and you're going to brush. You're gonna blend everything in. And this is a good way to also make sure that your face is exfoliated, because what could happen is you wanna make sure that your skin is exfoliated as well. Otherwise, your brows will get like really flaky. I've seen that before where somebody doesn't exfoliate, and when I'm doing this part of the brow, it's like really flaky. And when you do this also, you can kind of see where you need to add more product, okay? So we're gonna take our brush again, our slanted brush. Try and use a very skinny brush if you're going to use a brow pomade or a brow gel. Try to get the most skinniest slanted brush you possibly can, okay? Just fill that bad boy in. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're gonna go in with our concealer. Once we are satisfied with the way that looks, we're gonna go in with our concealer. And I love using the Pro Conceal Concealer from LA Girl, guys. It is just such a great concealer for my brows. And the shade that I'm using is Fawn. So I like to apply that to my mixing plate. I always use a mixing plate, which looks like this, guys. This is eyeliner, brows, concealer, okay? A very small round concealer brush, and I had this brush for a minute now. I love it. The reason why I use a rounded brush is I can go back and forth. If I use a slanted brush, I can only go in one direction. With a rounded brush, I'm able to go back and forth, which makes blending the concealer out a lot easier. I'm gonna go underneath very lightly and just start creating a nice clean line underneath. So once you have your concealer on, it's gonna look something like this. I'm gonna take a blending brush. This is the 217 blending brush from MAC Cosmetics. And then I'm just going to blend away all of that concealer because you don't wanna see any harsh lines. I say that so much when I'm talking in my tutorials. So just like so, guys. So once you are satisfied with the shape you have and how you applied your concealer underneath your brows, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to blend it away now. Like, I still like the concealer shade to show. I just like it to be very, very blended. So that is all I'm doing right now. I'm just really blending that out. So you see how my arch here is just higher than that one? That's just the way it is. Brows will never be the same, no, no. So I have several different brow gels. Once I fill in my brows and it looks something like this, I do like to have a thicker brow for my face shape. I think it complements me very well. Plus, I think really, really thin brows just make you look either way older, mean, or just harsh, okay? So once I finish this, I like to set my brows using a brow gel. I have several different brow gels that I like to use. These are them. They are from Anastasia, Beverly Hills, as well as MAC Cosmetics. These are the brow gels that I like to use. However, for an everyday brow, I just go in with a clear brow gel. And this one is from Anastasia, Beverly Hills. And I just take it and lightly just brush my hairs in the direction that it grows. And it kind of keeps the, well, not kind of, it keeps the hair in place. And my brows also do not get oily throughout the day because I put a primer before I apply my brow makeup. Because I know if you have thinning brows, because the makeup is mostly sitting on your actual skin versus your hair, you might get oily brows throughout the day. So something that helps me a lot with that is to use a primer before you, a mattifying primer on top of your brows before you apply the actual makeup. And the one that I like to use is the Becca primer, or I use the Milk of Magnesia. I like to put it on my brows as well. I haven't done that in a while because I actually don't have any left, but that was my baby in the beginning. I used to always put Milk of Magnesia on my brows and then apply the makeup on top, and that really, really, really helped my brows from looking oily and crazy. Okay.